Hi, I'm Victoria Vargas here today with Steve Lamb, president of SOS Filings Incorporated. So, Steve, I know you've been a small business owner since about 1984, but why don't you tell us about how you got involved in helping people with Secretary of State filings and Franchise Tax Board revivers?
Well, in 2009, the California Secretary of State closed down 3 of its 5 offices, leaving only the Los Angeles office and the only full-service facility office being the headquarters located right here in downtown Sacramento. This created a tremendous backlog, and by 2010, the Secretary of State was taking 5 to 6 months to process documents. And if you wanted a new entity established, it was going to take 3 months for them to file those and process those formation documents. The only option was to drive to Sacramento or hire a service company to go to Sacramento for you and submit them on an expedited basis, for which they charged a $350 premium, and they still do this day for that 24-hour turnaround service. One time during that time period, I was on the elevator with a gentleman that had driven up from Los Angeles in order to file his own expedited documents because he didn't trust any service companies and he just wasn't sure. So that's what the lengths that people were going to because of the backlog. Well, we took advantage of our situation being located right here in the Sacramento area. And in a short period of time, we were staffing 4 to 5 people daily working on what eventually turned into a very large client base. A few years and several thousand filings later, a number of our clients came to us with questions like, why did the Secretary of State reject my filing? Why am I suspended with the Franchise Tax Board? And most importantly, can you help? And we could. And in order to better serve our clients, we launched this website specifically to help suspended entities get revived. The reviver process can be complicated, but our expertise simplifies it for our customers.
So you're saying the experience that you've acquired over the last few years working with both state agencies will benefit your clients in this process?
Absolutely.
How so?
Not many people have completed a reviver in their lifetime. Consequently, it's unknown territory for most people. Working with the state agencies can be challenging due to technical errors, language barriers, endless phone trees, conflicting information from these agencies, and on and on. As a matter of fact, more than once, we've had people contact us, get a little bit of information, ask a few questions, try to go about it on their own, and then come back a couple months later only to have made absolutely no progress. It's happened more than once.
So can you tell us about a time where you helped someone in maybe what would be considered a precarious situation?
Of course. We recently had a client that was out of state, back east, and this particular client was under a lot of pressure due to a large sum of money being tied up in escrow. She wanted a counterfiling only at the FTB, but after conversing with her, asking her a few questions just over the phone, I could tell that that's not what she needed. And our goal is not to just get orders. I want to help get entities revived. So she proceeded with the silver option, and we immediately started working on getting her entity revived, and we did. And the difference in the sound of her voice and emails from the time of our first correspondence to the resolution of her revival was night and day. I find it very rewarding when our clients are satisfied because we together have been successful.
So why would someone need you to help them?
Well, there's more accountability when you go to the FTB office or the Secretary of State rather than mailing it in. Many clients through the years have said, I don't know what happened to my filing. I don't know what happened. I sent it in to the Secretary of State and it was either rejected or they lost it. The U.S. mail lost it. I don't know. Several weeks have gone by and I just don't know what's going on. And so we hear those type of things all the time. And recently, I spent 5 minutes shy of 3 hours at the FTB working on just one entity. That's waiting in line with a ticket, spending time at the counter, and waiting for the FTB and the Secretary of State to correspond. It was quite complicated, that entity, but I was able to get it revived and proceed over to the SOS and submit a COGS request at that time, that same day. This process comes after I researched to find out what's going on with your entity at each agency. Within this last year, I had an unusual case where a client contacted us and she said that if she had done something a little bit different, she would have saved $160,000. I really wish that she had contacted us a few weeks prior, because I would have been able to help her in that situation. That's kind of a rare circumstance, but it happened.
So, especially today, some people might be a little concerned with dealing with a third party, especially if they have a lot at stake. What would you say to those people with those concerns?
Well, first of all, I understand that. Let me address several things here, Victoria. We don't ask for much information about your entity, just what the FTB and the SOS require. Our privacy policy is posted. Our office staff has gone through a pre-hired drug test and background check. For example, earlier this year, I had an instance where the FTB called me. A few minutes into the call, I recognized the individual I was speaking to, as we'd spoken before. She was contacting me in hopes of obtaining our client's contact information. I won't give too many details about the rest of the conversation, but I did not disclose any information. I'm not giving out cell numbers to the FTB so they can track down our previous clients. Our success stories are only listed with our clients' expressed consent, and even then, we protected their anonymity. I've had clients from SoCal on several occasions working with household names. One customer had a unique request earlier this year. Even though it would soon be public record, he wanted me not to mention this household name to anyone in our office. I was the only one to work on that case due to his request under these circumstances. We keep our clients' information in the strictest of confidence.
So, Steve, you seem like you enjoy your work. Do you really?
Yes, I do. I'll admit, working with state agencies wasn't something I grew up wanting to do or thinking about doing, but I enjoy helping people. And I've learned a thing or two that can bring clarity to our client situations, and there's a great sense of accomplishment in getting an entity revived and active again.
Thank you for watching this video. If you have any additional concerns or questions that were not already addressed, feel free to contact us and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.